Okay, I should start off by mentioning that completing the square is another method we can use for solving quadratic equations. And we generally use this for equations that don't factor. Factoring is an easier way of solving them if they factor. So let's go ahead and do this. So we need all of the variable terms on one side and the term without the variable on the other side, so that we can then create that perfect square on one side. So let's go ahead and create our box to do that. So let's look at this side. Create our box. And we've got x squared here. And then my b term is negative 4x. We need to break that exactly in half, giving us negative 2x here and negative 2x here. So my perfect square, I've got an x here and an x here, a negative 2 and a negative 2. That means that to make this a perfect square on the left side of the equation, I need to add to it negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, a positive 4. So I'm going to take this equation and I'm going to add 4 to this side and add 4 to this side. Let me go ahead and put it over here now. I now have x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 1, negative 3 plus 4. Okay. Now, in the process of figuring out what I needed to add to both sides, I've already factored one side of the equation here. So let's write it in its factored form. We've got x minus 2 times x minus 2, or just squared, and that equals 1. Now I can take the square root of both sides. When I do, of course, I need to remember about that plus or minus. So the square root of x minus 2 squared is just x minus 2. And that now equals plus or minus 1. So let's move this down and break it into two equations. We have x minus 2 equals 1. And on the other side, we have x minus 2 equals negative 1. I should probably back up. The square root of 1 is 1 because 1 times 1 equals 1. Okay, so we have our two equations. And so now we just need to add 2 to both sides here, giving me x, and add 2 over here. X equals 3 on this side. And over here, I'm also going to add 2 to both sides, giving me x equals 1 right here. So my answer now, I've got x equals 3 and 1. And I will mention the reason that this came out evenly is because this problem actually would have factored. When you're learning to complete the square, we like to give you ones that come out nice and neat to start off with before we throw in the ones that we really use it for.